Okay, guys, we're gonna start off Mr. Nightmare, recommended by someone else. I think I'll do 3 true creepy lockdown stories. Let's get into it. You go, Mr. Nightmare. You go, King.
It was a typical boring day in calculus, only it was Friday, 7th period, meaning the week was almost over and spring break would finally be upon us.
It's Friday today right
so
now.
Everybody was getting antsy in their seats, I could tell. We didn't have a test that day like a lot of my friends did with their other teachers, so our teacher in the middle of class just decided to start.
Is this the narrator that does llama arts, dude? Sounds the same.
Playing games with us on Sporkle.com.
Sporkle,
He was a
I've
very
heard of it.
laid-back teacher like that. As we were doing some brand logo quiz on Sporkle, I remember the exact moment it happened. Right after my friend answered a question, I remember the exact answer too, Adidas. The dean's voice came through the loudspeaker.
Yeah?
He sounded panicked and frantic as he told all the teachers this was not a drill and to go into lockdown.
But what if he's lying?
I actually got the chills, and I got goosebumps on my arms as our usually laid-back teacher too seemed panicked as he ran to turn off the lights and ushered us to the back corner of the room.
This looks like a primary school, not a high school.
We all sat in silence for about 2
I think they
minutes.
do calculus in
And
primary
then
school.
the usual buzzing that came from a panel in the back of the room ceased, indicating that the school must have cut all the power. We all looked at each other, realizing this must be serious. A few more minutes of waiting later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the hallway. 2 girls in the class actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared.
Trying to kill
As
us.
the screaming got closer to the classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the
Honestly,
lockers
at
while
this point,
screaming, "I'll
you
kill
gotta
all
whip
of
out
you."
the 1911.
It was at that moment that
Throw
I
a
started to
decoy.
fear for my life.
Maybe a
My teacher
monkey
shushed
bomb.
us as we all looked at each other to see our peers'
So you know
reactions.
what? Whip out the
The
Manglican.
banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door,
That's bad.
and that's when one of the crying girls screamed no.
Bro, shut up.
The banging on the door
Is that a
only grew
toilet
worse
roll
as
next to
man
the
started
door? Like a
screaming,
metal
"Open up."
toilet roll?
2
That's
of
so
the girls in the
fire.
class were crying out
I
loud now.
too love going to the
It
toilet
felt like an
using
eternity
metal
that man was
instead of
pounding at the door.
paper.
But eventually, he finally continued down the hallway,
So what kind of
screaming like a
window is
mentally
that?
insane
Like a
person
window
until we
zigzags.
could not hear him anymore. I'd say 10 minutes later, though it felt like half an hour given the situation, the dean came back on the loudspeaker explaining the situation,
What
which
happened?
was surprising for him to do. He explained that some apparently mentally unstable person entered the building and assaulted the woman sitting at the front desk,
Assaulted? What did she
causing her
do?
to flee the building screaming, and staff wasn't sure if the man was armed or not.
That's just
Now
not
this
nice.
was before the school had cameras or could afford proper security, so the school was wide open to something like this happening.
The camera looks like
The
it has
staff
a
had
face
done a
on it, but
sweep
it's
of
just a
all the
floor
hallways
in
and
the glare.
classrooms and couldn't find him, so the
So
dean
there's 2
instructed the
faces,
teachers to
maybe
resume
3
teaching,
actually.
but to keep all the doors
One of
locked
them is definitely just
and
a
to not let
detective
any
film
students leave for any reasons.
Ew, what is that
The most
transition?
disturbing part,
Ew,
however,
ew.
is that one of the janitors
Stop.
working the
I
night
don't like-
shift
yuck.
found the man sleeping in one of the
Okay, that-
storage closets near the back end of the school.
You can't tell me that just isn't a face. Like a fucking roll. Like that's a rolling giant back there, and that's just a face.
And according to rumors that were spread by my peers, sticking out of his pocket was a .44 Magnum.
Whoa!
The janitor must have done something stupid to wake him up. For example, leaving the closet door open, because by the time a police officer could arrive on the scene,
He
man
skedaddled,
was
didn't
gone.
he?
My entire class, as far as I know, to this day, has no idea if this man was ever found, but I like to think that right now, he's being given the proper help that he needs.
Okay. Story 2, guys.
Love
Oh.
Roblox?
Nah,
Earn
Roblox
digital
sucks.
gift cards with Microsoft
Like right now?
Rewards.
Crap sucks. Look in Roblox.
My school has 2 lunch periods. First lunch period is for all 6th graders and some 7th graders. The second lunch period is for the other half of the 7th graders and all 8th graders.
What?
The lockdown happened in
That
the
don't even
beginning
make
of
sense.
October. The day the
Yo,
lockdown occurred, it was
it's
overcast
October
and
right now.
rainy. During the first lunch period, I heard 4 loud booms. I personally thought it was thunder, but the
I used to
entire
show
lunch crowd
photos of
started
random
screaming.
children.
I was thinking
That's
those kids
good,
were
that's
just
good.
serious pussies, but the campus
Oh.
security came in and started
That-
yelling at people to
Can't
go
say
into the
that anymore,
multi-purpose
bro.
room. And the kids who were
And
in
it's
line
9
buying
years ago,
lunch
come
had to throw
on.
out their lunch and come inside. Me and some friends went inside the room along with a huge group of other kids. Everyone was curious as to what was happening. Our multi-purpose room is huge, and the back wall of the room is made of see-through glass. When me and my friends were rushed inside the campus, security was covering the glass with the curtains, and there were adults at every exit. My friend Eric
someone
was
kill
curious,
themselves?
as well as the rest of us, so he asked one of the adults what was going on. When he came back, he said, "You know how right in front of TMS there's those houses?" I
Sure.
replied, "Yeah." "There's this mentally disabled, crazy man that barricaded himself in front of his house, and he's threatening to commit suicide and kill the cops if he's evicted. He was walking around outside of school watching kids in a weird way," Eric told us.
So all those 4
It
gunshots.
turned out the man was also a registered sex offender,
Mm.
making matters worse.
That's not
We
good.
were stuck in the multi-purpose
'Cause,
room for
you
a
can't
whole hour, taking up
Pew
2
pew
periods.
yourself 4 times.
After the whole thing
One
was settled,
time and
we
I'm
were
sure you
escorted
go
to our
limp.
classrooms one by one. I later
Unless he
found out that the
pew
man
pewed
lives
in the
next
foot
to
or
my
something.
friend Brandy, who told me about the previous Halloween when she saw the
On
same man at his
Halloween,
window
there will
cutting his
be a-
arm and writing in his own blood, "Don't come here or I'll kill you," on his window.
Ah, nice.
Of course, being Halloween, people, including
Nice.
Brandy, assumed it was just for the holiday. But after this horrific incident, we knew this man was mental, and we're glad he never got near us.
That's mental, dude. Story 3. So far, these have not been very nightmare-y,
I'm
Mr.
22 years old, fresh out
Nightmare.
of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a sort of computer intern in the school
I
basement.
don't know why anyone would get a
The
job at their own
basement of
high
the
school.
school is
but
very messy and
sure.
disorganized,
Okay.
but there is a small 3-person office that's actually very nice down there. It has 3 nice big desks, 2 mini fridges, a
Okay.
flat screen TV mounted on the wall, and also
Okay.
satisfying air conditioning, a luxury the students
Okay.
and teachers cannot enjoy in the school. And of course, all the school servers and other computery stuff.
I don't think any schools have that.
I got the job because 3 of my old computer teachers flat out adored me. I could actually consider them
Dell.
as real friends, not just teacher figures. So they all helped tremendously in landing me
Windows
this job.
XP.
It's been great. Until something that happened a few weeks ago.
What happened?
My 2 coworkers that shared the office with me, Dave and Gary, weren't in the office at the time. They were upstairs working on papers or whatever.
Are they not allowed to do
I was
that?
eating my sandwich during my lunch break.
What
when I got a
sandwich
phone
was it?
call from
Can
one
I
of
have
the women
some?
in the front office, telling me the school was on
Lockdown,
and
lockdown,
somebody
lockdown.
possibly armed had entered the school.
Pew pew pew.
There
Wow
wasn't
wow.
much that I could do other than turn off the lights because, surprisingly,
Why is that
as nice as
calculator,
this
whatever
little
it is on the
office
desk, so
was,
high
it didn't have
quality
an
and
actual
everything's so
door
low?
to it, just a big opening, and the door to the whole basement didn't even have a working lock. For my own safety, I did turn off all the lights in the office and my computer screen.
Good, good, good.
I kept my phone on the desk, texting
That
both
is not a
Gary
phone.
and Dave,
If that's a
but they
phone,
wouldn't
I'm a
respond.
dinosaur.
I sat down there in the dark, playing games on my phone for like 20 minutes,
Wow,
waiting for
games.
the call from up front to tell me to resume working. I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't hear what was going on upstairs from down here.
Didn't she
but I was
literally
not
call you
allowed
and
to
tell
make
you it
any
was a
calls until I
lockdown?
was informed
Take a
that the
guess what a
lockdown was over.
lockdown could inform you
Then
about.
the noisy basement door opened.
Well,
As the creaking echoed across the basement and into my office, I sat up from my seat, wondering if I should call
Let me
out
give you a
Gary
hint.
or Dave.
a
I was
lockdown
eager to
can't
get some info
do.
from them. Someone then came running down the stairs, and their footsteps were approaching my
Never mind.
office.
I give up.
I pushed away my chair and crawled under my desk.
Now you lock in.
Somebody entered the office, but did not turn on the lights. There was just silence.
Okay. It's kind
I
of creepy
can't
now.
even describe the fear I was experiencing. I felt like
Valid.
if I made one sudden noise, I'd be a dead man.
You probably would be.
Suddenly, my phone dinged as I got a text message. I felt my entire world shrivel up and die at that one moment as I clenched my teeth in fear. Footsteps suddenly moved closer to me until I
Bruh.
finally dove out from under the desk in
Hit him with-
capitulation,
hit him with the
begging
phone in the
whoever it
head like
was
a
not to
brick.
kill me. And just then, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me up. It was some guy in a red plaid button-up, jeans, and a reddish-black cap.
Okay.
He told me, "It's okay, I'm just down here hiding with you." "What's going on up there?" I whispered to him. He kind of ignored my question and asked me if there's an exit down here. I told him, "Yeah, around that way." Before he could do anything else, I asked him, "Who are you?" There was a brief moment of silence. Before he started explaining, he was coming in to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide. After his explanation, I checked my phone and saw the text I received was from Dave. It said, "Dude, this is fucking crazy. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley.
No, not
He's
Mr.
wearing a red
Buckley.
shirt and a hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs."
Do not come upstairs,
I was about
gang.
to reread that text out loud to the man until I realized. I looked up and felt my stomach sink. The man seemed to catch on to my suspicious stare.
Ruh-roh.
Panicking, all I could
What's
think
up,
to do was to run for
Scooby-Doo?
the
We're
upstairs.
coming after you. You've
A
got to
gunshot echoed
solve
through the
that
basement, and I could hear the
mystery.
bullet ricochet
What's
off
the
something metal
Scooby-Doo?
in the darkness.
Oh,
But thank God the bullet missed me, and I made it upstairs.
miss me.
Fortunately, police
Now you
were
gotta
waiting
give me
at
a
all
kiss,
exits,
buddy
including
boy.
the basement exit, and caught the man the second he opened the door. More good news.
Nice.
Our teacher, Mr. Buckley, survived the gunshot.
Nice.
It was later determined that the man and Mr. Buckley
Son of-
had some beef for whatever reason.
Oh, shit off Freddy Fazbear. Oh, that meme's
But
so
that was
old.
never revealed.
2023
All
meme,
we know
I
is
think.
that Mr. Buckley couldn't
Was it
have done
2024? I don't
anything
know.
that would have
I think
warranted
it was
this kind of
2023.
reaction.
I believe.
And I
I
know that the
believe.
sound of that gunshot will forever echo in my mind.
The school got set on fire? You're a liar. Thanks for watching. We cannot read that. No, now you can't even like go all the way to the bottom right. You have to like actually aim it and stuff. Okay, let's watch one more. Let's do what we did with the previous one. Nuke's top 5. Watch more of a recent one. I swear I just saw the most freakiest thumbnail ever. Yeah, what the fuck? I think we gotta watch that one. Look at the thumbnail.
I'm 30 years old, and I share a house with my sister. It's a 2-floor house, a mother-daughter house, meaning
Should we watch that one or should we watch Halloween? Can't like that one looking good. I'll see how long. He doesn't say like first story, second story anymore. Oh yeah, yeah, third story is long. That's as long as the last video was. Let's do it. Let's watch it. Let's do this.
when I was 8, I rode my bike every day after school.
It's
I
the
lived on
same
a
guy,
quiet
but he
street
sounds like
with
he's been
small houses
smoking
and
for
big
20 years
trees.
now.
I learned every crack in the sidewalk. I learned where the mailman stopped. One house I liked was down the block.
Oh
I
yeah?
had to ride near the corner of the block to get a view of the yard.
Why do you
There
memorize
was a
these
long
houses?
driveway and a wide lawn.
How's that gonna help
An
you?
older man stood in that driveway most afternoons.
You're a child, aren't
He'd
you?
always wear a hat, and he'd stand where the driveway met the sidewalk and look down the street. When I rode by, he would say hi. He never came onto the
Hey.
sidewalk. He never stepped off his driveway.
Never,
He would
never.
call out and wave, and then go back to watching his yard. I always waved back. My mother told me to never cross the street by myself, so I never crossed to actually speak to the man face to face.
Okay,
The man knew
good,
that.
good.
He would call to me from his place and ask about school. He would ask about my bike. He asked if I liked the bell on my new red bike. I even remember once he told me a joke about a cat that made me laugh. He
Yes!
talked for weeks like that. The conversations
W old
were
man,
short.
W old man, W's in
They
the
were
chat,
always from
W's
his
in the chat.
driveway to the curb. He seemed to know small things about me without me saying them. For example, the fact that I had a little brother, or my dad got a new car.
Okay,
Never
so
told me these
he's,
things. I thought maybe he had seen us from down the
psychic.
block or something. Like he was
Like a
just a neighbor who
Pokemon.
watched the street. One day I got a brand new bike. It was red with a shiny bell, like I mentioned before. I rode down the block slow, and he called out, "Nice bike." He asked
Nice
if I wanted to race to the
bike.
corner. I told him no, because my mom would be angry. He smiled and said
Nice.
one day. After that, we talked about small things. He told me about a
Okay.
bird that liked his
Oh, a
fence,
bird that liked his
and then about a
fence.
rule about never stepping on a certain stone. Then he told me a story
Yeah,
about a dog
do
that would always
not
bring a
step
slipper
on
back.
limestone.
He sounded like someone who had time to watch small things.
Clearly.
I started looking for him when I was on my bike.
Nerd.
Some afternoons he was there and sometimes he wasn't. Then one week he stopped coming out.
No.
I rode down the block past the house and no
Okay,
one stood there.
I know you've been told not
Curtains
to
in the front window
go,
were closed.
like,
I
to
slowed
his
down and looked at the
house.
driveway. It was kind of weird not
But
seeing
I
a man
think
there.
you gotta go there now.
I wanted to ask my mother if I could cross the street. She said no. She said the road was not for unsupervised kids.
Okay,
Anyway,
that's
a
fair,
few
I
days
guess.
later, I saw a woman in the
But
backyard
how's
of
she
that
gonna
house.
stop you?
I had never seen anyone in that yard before. I had to ride around the corner to see her. She had her hair tied back, and she held a watering can, so I had to assume she was watering flowers back there.
Bro is watering.
I stopped my bike down
Water.
the street so she would not see me too close.
You
I
guys
wanted
ever
to call
play with
across
one of
the
those
road
hoses
like I
that
always
have,
did,
like,
but I didn't.
the twist, and
I
you
don't
get
know if I
to
was too
change the
shy
attachment,
or
like
scared of what my
miss,
mother would say
jet,
if I were staying out too late.
stream.
The woman didn't seem to notice
I don't
me
know.
any more than I noticed her, though.
Oh, that was fun.
A few
I did
days
that
later,
once.
I rode by again,
Like
and the
a
woman was on the
water
back
fight with a
porch.
hose. That was
She had a
fun.
mug in her hands. I sat on my bike and watched for a bit.
Then she
opened a
piffed the
small
mic at
side
me.
door and went
The
around
mug.
house.
Not the mic, the mug. I
pedaled
was thinking of my
slowly to the
mic.
corner
I was
and
thinking of
made
what
it
I
where the
said. I
sidewalk
said,
curved.
yeah.
I looked down the block just to ensure my mom wasn't outside.
What
Then
what
I
was it?
decided I would quickly cross the street.
What?
I
No.
pushed my pedals and crossed
Don't do
like
it.
my life
Don't do
depended
it.
on it.
Don't do
The
it.
house looked bigger from up close. The
Yeah, no
driveway
shit,
was
that's how
long
things
and
work. That's how
sloped down to
perspective
the
works.
road. I felt like I was not allowed to be there. I stopped at the end of the
'Cause
driveway
you're
near the
not.
back gate. The woman heard me.
Oh.
She turned and saw a small boy with a red bike standing at the gate. She looked
Please,
surprised,
please don't
but
hurt
not
me.
angry. She came to the gate and opened it, and she asked what I was doing back there.
I was
I
trying
told
to
her
get
about
some
the man on the
cookies.
driveway, and that he would used to say hi when I would bike past.
He was actually
Told her
never
he knew my
real. He
name,
was a
and that He
ghost.
said he would race me one day.
Oh.
She wiped her hands on her dress like she had been working, and then said the man I described sounded like her husband.
Yeah.
I smiled, thinking she would say he went on a trip or he's inside.
He
and she'll go get
died.
him. But she didn't smile.
His
She
legs
said
were
he had
cut
died
off.
the year before.
His.
She said he died in his chair. His name was Harold. I felt a
Okay.
cold space open in my chest.
That's a dumbass
I
story,
asked her if she had a
kinda.
picture. I wanted to see him. She went inside and returned with a small frame.
It's kinda
The
wholesome
photograph
though,
showed a
no?
man
Like,
with the
how's this
same hat
scary?
and the same broad smile.
He was a ghost, but he was
actually bore a
nice.
resemblance to the man I'd always seen. Then the woman said the photo was new, taken only a couple of years ago. She said her husband had a scar across his cheek since he was young. I looked at the photo close, and the man in the picture had a thin, pale scar from ear to mouth. I remembered the man on the
Ear to
driveway.
mouth.
He had no scar. He had a round, plain face and smooth skin. The hat matched and the smile matched, but the
Yeah.
scar did not. I told her I once saw a mark on the man's face, but I thought he rubbed his cheek once. She said that that scar had been there for a long time, but that he'd hide it under stubble sometimes. She said again that her husband had died and that no one else lived
Rest
in
in
the house.
peace, little bro.
She said she had
Or
moved
big
back
bro?
last
I
summer
don't
to
know.
take care of the garden, and that she's never seen
Old
or
bro.
heard anyone standing in the driveway. I honestly started to get kind of scared at this point. I thanked her and backed down the driveway.
Bro, it's so late right
Back
now. I'm
into
so
the yard
tired.
again. I rode home slow and put the bike in the garage. The bike ride back was kind of like how when you almost get into a car accident, you'll drive home the rest of the way in silence with the radio off. My mom didn't ask any questions when I got home. She just told me to be careful. That night I couldn't sleep. I thought about the man with the hat. I thought about his
Why
laugh
is
and
there
the way he
still
said
3
my name,
minutes?
and I thought about the scar in the photograph.
That's not good. Man.
The next day, I went by the house and the curtains were open. Sunlight touched the porch and driveway, but no one stood in the driveway. I waved from the corner, but no one waved back, so I pedaled away. For a while, nothing else happened. I tried to forget. I made new routes on my bike. I talked with kids on other blocks. Weeks passed.
Good,
Then one
smart
night, I woke
child.
up and heard my name. It sounded
Uh-oh.
like someone outside the house near my window. The voice was familiar. It said my name like the man across the street used to say it. I sat up fast and my head started spinning.
How the fuck did he say it? What do you mean? It said like he used to say it. Did people not say it normally? Did he say wheelie?
I shouted
Instead
for
of
my
Harold,
mother,
it's
and then threw
Harold.
the covers over
Harold.
myself, hiding.
Instead of Zach,
She
it's
came in a
Zake.
hurry and sat by the bed.
Instead of Bob, it's...
I told her about the voice outside my
I'm
window.
not... Nah.
She
No.
rubbed my back and told me it was the wind.
No.
To make me feel better, she went to the window and lifted the blinds. She said there wasn't anyone out there, so I went over to check myself. There was a light rain outside, but other than that, my mom was right.
What the fuck is that
My
door?
father
What
got
the
up
fuck?
and checked the locks of
Who
the
would
windows
buy
and
that?
doors.
That's
He looked
terrifying.
outside with a
So is
flashlight,
that a
which
toy
made me
air
feel
fryer
better.
in the right?
They said there was no one out there.
Oh, but that door
When
on
I
the
insisted I
bottom
heard a
is
voice.
scary, just
They
on the
said
floor.
perhaps the most typical thing a parent would say to a scared child, that I dreamed it. The next
You're a
morning, my throat
liar.
hurt from shouting the night before. I told
Why
my friends at
would- what?
school,
Was he
and they
shouting?
laughed at me,
Did I
for
miss it?
implying I believed in ghosts. One friend
Fuck
dared
you,
me to stand in
Timmy.
the driveway
Rub
of
my
their house at
ones.
night and call his name.
And he
I did
bashed
not take
Timmy
that
and got
dare.
suspended and
Days
died.
passed and nothing happened, so I moved on. The years went on, and the street changed. Houses sold, and the woman's house stood
Damn,
empty.
whose
for a
house is
little
that with the
while.
hedges?
I
The
once saw
hedges is a
movers
fence
taking
and a
boxes
pool.
out. Later
Damn.
on, new people
The
were
rich are
painting
the
the front.
rich.
The long driveway
Like
was still
all
there,
the other houses
but it
look
had new
rich
cars.
and like clearly rich
I
people in
rode
them,
past
but
and did
that's
not look
mega
for a man in a
rich.
hat. I got older. I learned other routes. I learned the names of new neighbors and their dogs. And eventually, at the age of 18, I moved out for college. I
Okay.
never moved back to that house because my parents sold it while I was in college. But the memory of that man sits like a small stone in my chest.
I don't get it.
wondering
Why
why I didn't
did he
ask the
try
woman
so
for
hard to
more pictures
memorize
or
his
go back to
neighborhood
press
as a
her for more
child, and, like
details?
all the people that lived
I
here?
guess in that moment,
Yeah.
I was scared to wonder if I'd been talking to a
I
ghost.
don't get it.
I didn't
but
cross that
sure.
street again for a long time.
Sure.
I told this story to one or two people later in life, and they even asked why I didn't go back and ask that woman more, or why I didn't tell the woman everything I remembered. Maybe they were right. Maybe I should have
Nah.
been braver.
No.
Maybe I should have asked more questions about the scar or to
Yeah,
see a
probably
wedding
that.
photo. But I was 8. I wasn't really thinking that
Oh,
way.
well, yeah, that makes
A few
sense.
years ago, I drove down the block just for the hell of it. A child was riding a bike near the corner. The driveway was empty. For a moment, I wanted to stop. I wanted to ask if anyone had stood there and said hi. I wanted to know if anyone else had heard a voice in the rain. I wanted a small answer that would close the gap. But I didn't stop. I just kept driving. The memory stays
yeah.
as it was. And I try my best to suppress it these days.
This video was kinda mad. No offense, Mr. Nightmare. Okay, well guys, we're gonna end this Halloween video here. If you guys like this, like, subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Happy Halloween!